some eland fighting. You know, earlier when we were looking at the sunset, I could hear the knocking of horns, but I couldn't see where it was coming from. Oh, is this not a handsome group of guys? I think he agrees with me. Look at that dewlap. My goodness. So the sound I was hearing was coming from these guys who were having a bit of a go at each other. There you go, locking horns. So this is obviously a little bachelor groups. They'll form loose groupings. So again, the foundation of the herd is made up of females and their offspring. And then males form loose bachelor groups. The really dominant males are usually a little bit solitary. But in these bachelor groups, that's where they practice fight and things like that. If you look at the one on the right, well, at least if you were looking at the one on the right, his dewlap is quite small compared not to the one he's fighting, but to this one here. This one's got quite a significant dewlap. You can see that this one thinks he's above the play fighting stage. Okay, that's fine. And these two are still having a go. Still keeping an ear out for those jackals. But so far, can't hear them. They usually come in just as the sun has almost completely set. Oh, that's an interesting angle. He's trying to scratch the back of his neck with his horn. I think that's a pretty good strategy. Oh, what a stare. I was unsure because obviously I could see the eland, and I was unsure if it was horns or perhaps the clicking of their legs as they walked, but I don't see a bull big enough to create the clicking just yet. So this looks like a loose bachelor group with a couple females and their offspring in there. Don't see a nice big bull that would be able to produce the clicking sound, which is something that's quite characteristic of an eland. And we're unsure whether that clicking sound, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, eland are very huge antelope. So there's the giant eland, this is the common eland, and these elands can weigh up to about 1,000 kilograms, almost up to a ton. That is huge for an antelope. And if you've ever seen an antelope's hooves, they're in two parts, right? So as the eland is walking, it's thought that the sound is produced by those hooves kind of splitting under the weight of the eland and then snapping back as they walk. Once you've heard it, it's very easy to pick up. So if you haven't heard it, I suggest you go somewhere where there's eland and have a little bit of a listen, because it's quite an interesting thing, because you're not sure where it's emanating from. And it could just be a byproduct of their weight and their hooves, or it could also be some form of communication. It could indicate that, hey, I'm a really big, impressive bull. Listen to me. I have my own backing track as I walk through the fields. Dark mane lover, you say that this eland looks like he hasn't missed one meal. Well, it's hard to miss a meal when basically all you're doing is walking around and eating for the majority of the day, and you're in this lovely open grassy area that's full of your favorite foods. But I agree with you. The dewlap does look like a sort of a weird storage vessel where it could store extra food. Of course, that's not what it is. Dewlap develops as a bull gets older, and it's a trait that basically shows off how big and dominant and strong I am. Oh, he looks quite muscular. Yes, you are. You are gorgeous. And viewers across the world think so too. Come on, jackals. Any moment now.